So in the previous session, we have discussed about the filter concepts. So how we are using filters and what is the purpose of the filter and where we are configuring our filter. So like this, just we have seen the basic things and we have seen one example program also and how we are using the three filters there and how its a chain process is going from one filter to another filter that has been already you deployed in your deployment descriptor as a mapping point of view. Filter 1 is mapped with filter 2, then it's mapped with filter 3, like that. It finally reaches to your the server for accessing. And the purpose of the filter also we have done, right? So it's mainly used for what purpose? And I said filter is easily we can pluggable so that we can use our filters in a convenient manner. So to make these of usage of filters, I think we need some interfaces. Three interfaces we had. One is your filter interface, one is your filter chain interface, one is configure. So the filter basic, it is an interface to make it your initialization of your the things, right? And second one is to know or to get your filter. For that you are using one method, and as you know, destroy. Once your usage is been done with your filter, you want to just destroy that filter which you have taken. That also be done with your destroy method. These are the first basic interface we have. And coming into my second, as I just made it, sometimes I may need to maintain more than one filter to make accessing of your web browser. At that time, your chain process will be useful for us. So to make this use of chain process, we are taking the help of your filter chain interface, and where we are using this chain filter interfaces is we are deploying or we are using in as our favorite file. This is the web.xml. That web.xml will map filter 1, filter 2, filter 3, then your servlet program as yesterday example. For that we are using this filter chain interface. And coming into my last, as you know, how we had a servlet configure, we are also having filter configure. Means to know about your each and individual filter, about the configuration information about your filter, we are using the third interface which we call as what? A filter configuration. And to make this to know what is the configuration information of your filter, we are using once again here the four parameters as a group to get your filter name, to get your initialization of your filter if you want to do for initialization. So like this, there are various methods we are having. Then we have done with one example how the filters we are coming across to three filters to access your one servlet. That servlet displays the information as what? Welcome the username. This is what we have done with my last session. So for today's session, we are going to see one of the most important topic, I can say, or it's one of the important topic which we are calling as a session tracking. But as I told in the last session itself, I'd given some introduction about what is session. So what is a session? Session is nothing but some interval, some particular interval of time. So if you have allotted some 4 hours as a work, then you are alerting or dividing your 4 hours into different intervals, and you are giving that as session 1, session 2, session 3, and session 4. So to make this session 1, session 2, or session 3, and session 4, there we need to maintain some information about that each and every session. So session 1 is handled by so and so user, and that session is valid for so and so time, and is that session is only request by the one user, or is there any other request is coming from him? If only one request is coming, what is the request? And like this, some of the things you need to maintain as a track, or some of the things you want to maintain as a log. That what I'm calling as tracking of my sessions. Or I can say this entire process as management. Management of whom we are doing our sessions. So this is mainly done as in your servlet with the example of 4 different mechanisms that we can see later one by one. But first, hope you understood what is meaning of session. And coming into the second point, why we need to go with the session tracking. As we mentioned, when we client want to access the data over your web server, we are having, or we are going to use our one protocol which is named as HTTP. So what is this HTTP is known as? Stateless protocol, where this stateless protocol doesn't maintain any information regarding the user. Regarding the user means what? Who is accessing, who is that particular user, at what time is accessing, is that is using a source information, or what type of URL is accessing, at what time he will enter into my request, and how, when it is going to be expired. Some information we need to maintain, but here it is not able to done with your HTTP. The reason is it is what? A stateless protocol. So the main purpose of this session tracking is to maintain the information about either the user is old user or new user. I want to know. If it is an old user, then there is no problem. I can just make it as a request, as a granted, like that. If it is a new user, then once again I need to go with, I need to create some session for him. Then next time I can go it as a consider as a old, so that I can easily access it. So that is the main purpose of what? Session tracking. That is what introduction about your session tracking. So to maintain these sessions about your user, there we are using 4 mechanisms, or I can say 4 techniques or 4 methods. What is the 4 techniques I had is, number 1 is cookies, number 2 is hidden form field, number 3 is URL rewriting, and 4th one is what? HTTP session. These 4 are using for tracking of session, but they use in different ways. They use different methodologies. They use different techniques. They use different interfaces, but purpose is same. What is our purpose? To just store our session track, right? So we'll just come across first number 1. What is our number 1 is session tracking. Sir, here session is building state. Why we need to do session tracking? Yeah, you understood just now. I told why we need to make a session tracking. So session tracking main purpose is to identify either the user is, or the request is coming from new person or the old person, or new user or old user. To know it, we need to make it. And here, yes, yeah, session is a building a state. That is right, Mr. Ravi Kumar. So hope you understood, both doubts as cleared.
Sir.
But before it was, yeah, but it was before it is stateless. But now I want to make it as a state. That state only I am doing with the help of these 4 mechanisms. Right? Now, come to the first mechanism. What we had is, I told, it means authorization. Yeah, it means I'm not saying an authorization. I can say that if any user is coming as a request for the second time, once he made a request, second time I can say that, okay, is a person who I can believe, like your authorization, I can say that. So immediately using that particular session or using that session track ID, I can identify that person is the user, which is the, so there is no issues of any security, I can say make it. Hope you understood, Mr. Ravi Kumar. Yeah, right. Now, so come to my first, number 1 is cookies. So once you get into the things, then you can easily understand either it is authorization we are providing, or once we are generating a state, we can get a clarity once I have done with my cookies. So you can get clarity there itself, right? So before defining my cookie, what is my cookie and etc., first try to just look at your diagram. Look at your diagram. What you understand is, whenever a client is making a request, right, to your web server, what for our purpose he will make a request to access the request or to get the data, what he need, well, it can be run over your server machine. And once the request has been given by your request object, automatically he is going to be what? responded. Responded not simply with as a response. He's going to add some information to us. He's giving some information to us. And what is that information here I'm calling? Cookie. Now, what is this cookie? It is a piece of information. But what this piece of information is containing, we'll see later. But just as of now, you just understand that cookie is a small piece of information about what we don't know. And giving back to my browser. Browser is nothing but whom? To the client machine. So once that information is coming to my browser, so where it can be stored, that is another point. So actually these cookies are stored in your browser with a storage named as a cache storage. I think you already studied the types of storages. So cache is one type of storage we had on your browser. So it's a temporary, it can be a persistent or it can be a non-persistent. It may be any issue. But whenever the information or whenever the response you are getting back from the server by providing some piece of information, that piece of information will be stored where? In your browser machine, or sorry, in your client machine, in your browser. They're maintaining with what storage? A cache storage. Next time, as you go for step number three, when he is making a request 1 second, it is not a new request. It 1 second becomes what? Old request, because already a cookie is with him. So how we can prove that he is an old user? He is going to add a cookie in its request and he will send back to my server, so that the server will think that, like authorization, what you said to me, like authorization I'm providing that I'm an old user, so please give me a permission to access the things. So immediately, not going with another thought, just simply server will respond, and that response also 1 second loaded with what? Cookies. Because every time the accessing or request can come with a different time intervals. But time intervals also is a one matter. So 1 second the response will come in the form of what? Cookies. Like this, the accessing is going to be done. And maintaining the information about the user, as I told now. But what the cookie is exactly is consisting? First, it consisting what? Name of the cookie. So what it is, I will show you. Don't worry. And just now, I made it one more is a unique value. Each time a unique value is generated for each cookie, because that unique value is represents it's coming from that particular user. Maybe if you don't maintain unique, what happens? So many security issues is going to be raised. Next, along with these two, some of the optional attributes, whatever we had is, what is the comment? Comment is nothing but is that particular cookie is used, which site is accessing, and is the protocol is authorized or stateless protocol. Something information you take as an optional. I can show you when I opened one cookie for you. At that time, I can show that are some of the optional parts like a comment and a path, domain, which domain I'm trying to access, and what is the age. Age is nothing but what? The expiry period of that cookie. It is represented in the form of seconds. And what is the version number I'm using. Like this, some information we have loaded in my cookie or stored in my cookie. That is what I had made it. Next, what I'm just making, by default, each request is considered as what request? New request. As I just now told you, what is the reason? My HTTP cannot able to maintain all the state information. I need to do that one. So for that purpose, each request I need to consider as a new request, and each time we need to add the cookie with what object? A response object, because response get back from whom? The server. So where the cookie is stored? Cookie is stored in the cache of my browser, and after if the request is sent by the user, cookie is added with the request as a default. I made it third step. Thus we recognize that user is whom? The old user. Means already the request is coming from existing person only. I had some state of information with me. Then next step. There are two types of cookies we had with only two differences. What is that? One is called non-persistent cookie and one more is called persistent cookie. So you know volatile and non-volatile memories. So same way, cookie is also persistent as well as non-persistent. But what is the difference we found it? It is valid for how many sessions? Only one session. So if suppose you unfortunately you closed your browser, then automatically your cookie will be what? The cookie will be removed. It is removed each time when you close your browser. But some of the things as we are doing, suppose you are trying to log in your Gmail account or maybe your Facebook account or maybe some linked account using your user ID and passwords, and you are trying to access some information there, then you forgot to log out. So what happens here? There also for each and every request made by you, a generating of cookie can be done. But have we logged out from that? No, you are not logged out. So still you are logged out or sign off from that account. You are going to maintain cookie of what type? The persistent type. So, and it is valid for not a single session. It is valid for how many sessions? More than one session, multiple session. This is valid, and it is not removed each time as we are doing in the non-persistent. When user closes the browser, it is not removed. That is what we had a clarity. When it is closes the browser, when it removes, it's called what type of cookie? Non-persistent. It is removed only when we are logged out or signed out. That is about your second category of cookie is called as what? Persistent cookie. Now, come to what is the advantages I can found and what is the disadvantages I can found with my cookies. Just what is the advantage I can found here? It is easy to maintain my state of my user because everything is loaded from which side? From client side. I can easily just check over what I had it. But as I'm having this as an advantage, as it is also my drawback. What is the drawback here? Only what type of information, as you can set, textual information as we had it. So security issues has been raised. So if you are providing anything in the text, can I modify it? Yes, I can modify. So there is a drawback. So as I'm having as a simple technique, as I'm having a drawback as I'm maintaining what? Textual information. And advantage is I don't require to go 1 second to server side to check out my cookie. If I want to go to 1 second my server side, what I need to do? I need to develop 1 second, either maybe one servlet or maybe one HTML or maybe one JavaScript I need to write. But here I don't require all these things because I'm maintaining it what type? Client side. And this one more drawback is it will not work if cookie is disabled from your server. You had an option, cookie disabled option you are having, allow, disallow. If you don't allow it, your cookie will not be generated. If it is in our hands, but this is also considered as one of the serious drawback my cookies, right? But when I want to create these cookies, I just made it what is cookie and how I'm going to, or what are the types of cookies and what are the advantages and disadvantages. If I need to generate my cookies with my response object, what are the things I need to follow? So first, if I want to create any cookie, I'm going to take the help of one class. Who is that class name? Cookie class. As we are having a class, compulsory you should have some methods. The methods may be same as your class name or different as your class name. If the methods are same as class name, we call it as constructors. Your C++ language says class name as same as method name, or method name is same as my class name. We call as what? Constructor. As we had different type of constructor, we don't need to go in detail about it. But here, what is the class we are using? JavaX, where we are executing at server side, and servlet is what the things which I am creating at running at your server with the help of which protocol? HTTP protocol. And what is my class name? Cookie. And this everything is provides your functionalities about your cookies, and it provides a lot of useful methods for us. This one provides a lot of useful methods like get name, set name, get attribute, set attribute. Like this, so many things we can do from this class. And first, if you want to make this cookie, then simply what you need to call is, you need to call one constructor. What type of constructor it is? Default constructor. Why? Because it doesn't consisting of any parameters inside it. We call it as what? Default constructor. And this default, when you call this constructor, simply going to construct a cookie. But as we need to maintain some name of the cookie should be the so and so, and the value should be passed to my cookie so and so, you need to mention clearly. If you are maintaining easily, or if you want to get easily that creation, so for that purpose I need to call one more constructor, is called parameterized constructor. With the help of two parameters I'm using. What is the two parameters here? Name and value. What it represents? One represents what is the name of my cookie I'm using, and what is the representative value for that cookie I'm using. Suppose value you take as, or name of your cookie you take as an instructor, and value of instructor is so and so, you need to pass. So like that you can just define is one more constructor as which we call as a parameterized, and it's going to be constructed with a specific name and value. This is what the first introductory about how to create or how to construct your cookie class. Next, these are the some methods we had it. What are the methods we had? So suppose I told already there will be some optional parameters I can include to my cookie. What is an optional parameter? One of the parameter is I need to make my expiry also of my cookie, I need to mention. So created is 832. I need to expiry, I need to mention as 835. If you want to set your age of your cookie, then it can be done with this method name. And always you remember the age, maximum age of set of your cookie could be done in what? In the seconds. It can be done in the seconds, not in a minutes. So public void set max age, and integer is my variable, and expiry, sorry, integer is my data type, and expiry is what? My variable which sets my age of my cookie in the seconds. And second method is get name. What is the purpose of the get name? Whatever the name of the cookie you have given, if you want to know, then that time you can simply call a method called public string get name. And remember, every function which I am saying can be accessed by using your cookie object. What is your cookie object? CK. What is your cookie class? Cookie is my class, CK is my object. CK dot set max age, CK dot get name, CK dot get value. So with the object your method will be accessed as you know it. And so you want to know your name along with your value. Then previously I just made it a syntax for you. What is the syntax? String name and string value. If you want to know your name, you need to call get name. If you want to know your value, you need to call your get value. But remember, one important thing here is, once your cookie is generated, fine, no problem. But once you are started, your session has been started. What do you mean by session is started? A request is started from client browser, and you are going to get your cookie response from your browser, which means that a session is started. Once the session is started, we can't able to make any changes to your name of your cookie. You can't able to change your name of your cookie which you have given. But if your session is not yet started, you want to do some modification to your cookie, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but before your session starts. That is only I mentioned in my second point. What I just made it here, returns the name of the cookie. The name cannot be changed after the creation, but I can change it before my session start by using what method? Public void set name. What is a public void set name? It can change your name of the cookie, but when? Before your session start, at that time I can set it. I can change it. Once my session starts, these two things will not work over for me. And one is used to set your name, one is used to set your value, right? So this is some of the common methods I can use with the help of cookie class. Now, when I want to make add cookie, already one cookie is there. So I want to add this cookie or whenever I want to add a cookie to my client browser, actually, that can be added with your response object, right? When you want to add this one, as we need to take the help of the interface. What is that interface I need to take? HTTP servlet response. Why I'm saying a response here? Because our cookie can be added with the response object. If you want to go for request, then that can be done with your request object. So if I want to add any cookie, so I need to use my HTTP servlet response interface, and it is used to add cookie in which object? In the response object. So similarly, if I want to get, or if I want to know what are the cookies I had from my browser, or what are the cookies are stored in my browser, if I want to know it, how I can know? Using the method called public cookie, as I don't know how many cookies I had. So that's why I'm representing with as what? Array subscripts. The cookies may be more than 2 or 3 I may had, I don't know. So that's why I made it as a dynamic size, and get cookies method is going to be take all, or it can be written all the cookies. From where it can return? From the browser. Why it is from browser? Because every cookie is going to be stored in my browser only. So hope you understand. Yeah. Sir, user logout means cookies are stored in account or browser. It will be stored in the browser only, no way of your account. It will be stored in your browser. Can you please explain again cookie? Which, okay, you are saying about your parenthesis, what I'm just making, right? Fine. The array part, yes, I will explain. Yes. So what this part is shows is, so if suppose you are making 3 requests, example, you assume 3 or 4 requests is done by the user. For 3 and 4 requests, how many cookies will be generated? If it is an old user also, I told the time as we set as a different times intervals we can set for the request. So there may be chance of 3 or 4 cookies we generated. Example, we assume I need to get back all the cookies. I need to know about information about all cookies which have been stored in my browser. If I want to know all the information about my cookies stored in the browser, as it is not a single cookie, is I'm maintaining a multiple of similar data items. As yesterday I told, array definition, maintaining a similar data information. So what is the similar data information about my cookies? So I'm going to use my array, cookie array. Array is nothing but what? Index value or subscript value it's going to maintain. The subscript size, I don't know. How many cookies generated, I don't know. So to make this size, I can just define my array 2 types. Dynamically I can do, or statically I can do. Statically means by passing some information, either 5 or 6, when I know the size of my elements. But here I don't know how many cookies are there, because I don't know the user how many times made a request to the client. But I need to know how many cookies I had. At that time, I can use my size as a dynamically, so that I can get back. Suppose I'm calling cookie 0.get cookie. First cookie will be retrieved. Cookie information will be retrieved. Then cookie 1.get name or get cookie. Then it will retrieve your second cookie or first cookie. Like that, you are going to be use your array subscript. Hope you understood. Any clarifications here? Clear. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Sumanja, right. So what I'm just making here, this is what the second method we are using. And if suppose I told, previously I made it the use of classes, but now I want to create a cookie. As you know already the syntax. What is the syntax to generate your cookie? Cookie followed by string name, string value is my syntax. But I want to access my methods, and I need to make your object creation. For that creation object, I am going to use the help of my class. What is my class name? Cookie is my class name. And what is the CK? I told already to you. CK is what? Object. Creating an object for my cookie. And with the help of my operator new, I'm going to create a new cookie. And what is my string name? String name is user. And what is the user value is Marwadi. I created an object of my cookie. Now I can add it because I need to store it now. I had add it. I need to store my web browser of my client machine, and that adding can be done with the help of whom? With the response. So response dot add cookie. So you can find the method response dot add cookie. And what is the CK here? CK is my object. So this is creating of my cookie over your client machine. So as I just mentioned, cookie creation, if I want to delete, I told already you know how to delete. So delete will be done simply if you log out or if you sign out. It's no issue. But if you want to delete wantedly a particular cookie which you don't require, then what you need to do, no need to call any value of your string. Simply you make as your name of your cookie so that that can be deleted. So what is the syntax you are going to follow? Cookie followed by my object, followed by new cookie, then username, then value you made as an empty. So which will delete that value which you assigned for that cookie will be deleted. Right? So we can do without these also, simply log out or closing the browser. It depends upon your types of cookie. Non-persistent, close the browser. Persistent, log out. That I can do it. Right. Next, once you have deleted the cookie, what happens? What is the age of that cookie now? 0. Why? Because there is no cookie in my browser. I deleted it wantedly. So my set age to be done what? 0. So every time you remember with object ck dot set max is 0. So changing the maximum age to how many seconds? 0 seconds. Then the same thing I'm going to be loaded in my web browser with response dot add cookie ck. So no cookie is not having maintaining my maximum age as what? 0 as my response. So this is my deleting process. Now I need to get all the cookies. Previously you asked out, I think who is that person? I can't remember your name. Suman, yeah. So response is the object of HTTP response interface. Yeah, exactly. It is a response. We are accessing the method, right? We are accessing the method. We need to take with the response object only. So response is object. Response is object. Object dot method. What is my method name here? My method name is add cookie. So response is an object. Request is an object of your interfaces. Right? Now previously you raised one doubt, that is, sir, can you explain about this one, about your array part? Now you will just get the clarity 1 second in the array part, right? What is what if during creation we don't provide the value of cookie? Is it not created? I can't understand. What if during creation we don't provide the value of your cookie? It will generate as a default a unique value. If you don't give a value default, it will take a unique value. I told already. Is it created? But if you and your browser, you are not going to make a settings as allow or disallow. If you don't disallow, then it will not be created. If you make an allow, default it will take a cookie with some unique ID. But if you want to do your own cookies, then at that purpose I told how to create it. Are there any specific algorithm to be used, any creation? No, there is no specific algorithm. We had only method, I told. We had a methods. As I know some methods. I don't know about an idea of an algorithm. Is there anything is there? I just made it already a code for you. I'll just make it an example. So at that time, some of the doubts which you raised, you can clear at that time, right? Now just I'm coming back. So as you asked about how the array subscript will be accessed, now just look at here. So if you are having to, what is the code represents to get all the cookie names and its values. So what I'm just making here, cookie, the object with parenthesis of my subscript, request dot get cookies. So object dot method name, get cookies is my method. Then I don't know the size of my length of the subscript. So I'm using as one variable as a length 1 second. So integer I is equivalent to 0, ck dot length, still this condition true. How many cookies I had, that cookies name and that cookie value can be retrieved or that can be printed using your out.println statement, so that you are going to get your all cookies name and values in your browser. So this is what something just an introduction about your cookies, right? Now, where it can be stored when you try to execute, that is the thing we are left over here. Before going to this thing, so first I will try to clear all the cookies which I had it, because if I had so many cookies, because from last 2 days onwards I'm trying to access my browser, so maybe some cookies will be generated. First I need to free all the cookies, so it can be done in the settings part. As I told yesterday, you can just find cookies and other cited data. I made it an option as cookies are allowed, right? So make a click off this one. So I made it option as allow all cookies, and here I want to clear. So first, before going to clear all the cookies, just see what are the cookies I had it. So I am trying to access my domain address as accounts.google.com. So cookies generated. Apps of my Google I'm accessing, like your Google Meet. I'm trying to access. I'm trying to access my calendar. I'm trying to access my google.co.in. That time 10 cookies is generated. So like this, these are all of the some cookies. I try to access my YouTube. Whatever is I try to access, everything is get back with the response object in my client browser. Now what I'm doing, just I'm trying to make my cookies clear. Just make it here it can found clear cookies and site data. When you close all the windows, it is my option I had it. But what I need to make clear all the cookies and sites when you close all windows. This option I need to make it, right? So I'm making all these options. So clear once I close my browser. So make it close of my settings, and please try to open my program. This is a program which I have generated. But before going to this execution of the program, look at your description part as you had in the deployment descriptor, maintained with web.xml. You know, this is maintained in the web.xml. Everything is maintained in a web.xml, right? So what you are containing in the code. So first code is, actually I need to provide is your alias name as per our understanding is you don't require to give actual servlet name, but default it has been generated. So XYZ or XYX something I have given, and this is my first servlet class. Yeah.
Can you zoom the screen?
Can you post anything in the chat box so that I can respond? Please do post. Yeah, you have posted. Suman, you yourself. Can you zoom the screen? Yeah, I will zoom it. So in Sir Facebook creation of cookie and YouTube creation of cookie would not be same, right? So how can usually cookie of Facebook and YouTube is made different? No, that is only I'm trying to show you. You can have a clarity once I done with my program, and once my program has been executed, I can show my cookie, right? Let's say browser make the request multiple times. Then all the request the server send new cookies for every response. You will get it, Matthews. Don't worry. I'll show that example. So give me some time to execute at least one example so that you can get a clarity about it, right? Just I'll try to zoom so you cannot able to see that one, right? So where I can add it, so I can make this size, right? Find where is the size about this, so it can be maybe plus. So give me a second, dear students. Better I will just make it first this in the notepad, each and everything, so that it can be easily visible to you. I make it as a notepad so that first be clear with your code, then we'll go for execution. So everything now it is somewhat visible to you, right? So just what I'm making, this is my web.xml, right? So in this web.xml, I'm using totally 2 servlets. So the 2 servlets initially I'm providing with alias name and class names. That has been done with this one. This is already known to you. Next second, what I'm doing, I'm going with what? Mapping, right? Mapping I'm doing. So mapping also actually I need to provide here alias. You can provide alias name, no problem here. And URL, if you try to click or if you try to execute your servlet one, your URL will be / first servlet. And if you're trying to execute your second servlet, your URL will be second servlet, will be redirected. And it is my configuration information, how much session is given to your, what I can say for your configuration. And then I'm making here, right? This is a code which we have done for deployment descriptor. Now I will come to my, what is the code I have made built in for my first servlet, what it is containing. Just have a look and just make it. And this is a code. So up to this, it's fine. No need to explain up to this because it is a built-in code which is generated for us. So to get everything what we are using, and request and response and exception, everything you know it. But what here you need to know is, first I'm going to create, right? I'm going to have one string with a variable as a name. So I'm saying a username of it. And I want to print welcome the user, which you have given in the text box in your HTML file. So you are having one text box that actually shown in your index.html. You can find in the index.html. So in the index.html, whatever the code we had, just you can make it here. First, better I will complete my index part. So hope it's not required for you, but just I want to be clear. So this is my index.html. So what is the index part I'm just making here? Method I'm using get. And what is the thing I'm making? Text, type is text. And what is the name of it? The username. And I'm going to get a button called a submit button. And what is the value for it? To store the cookie of it. Yeah, it is storing your cookie. This is the purpose of it. Then after that, when you are generating your name with a variable called name, get parameter, your name, whatever you have given, that has been get by using your method called get parameter method, right? Get parameter of your username. Then that can be taken as output over your screen as output.println welcome user, whatever the value you provided for the user, that will take as output. Then here you are going to use your cookie concept. And remember, here I'm using my class importing java x.servlet.http.cookie we are using, right? Then I'm generating first what? A new cookie with my object ck. Cookie ck is equivalent to what? New cookie with my string name. And what is the value I'm giving for it? Name. String name and string value. And I'm taking response.add cookie, which means that this is stored over your browser in the cache memory with this response method. Then after that, I need to go with the redirecting of my second servlet. So to redirect to my second servlet, 1 second I made it out print of your second servlet. I need to make an action. And for that, I am going to create one submit button. And what is the value of it? Click to see my cookie in the next request. So I just redirected to my next servlet 2, which I have taken as a code. So this is my second servlet. So only what is required, I'm going to make it as, this is what I needed. So this is everything in it, but just I'll copy. Otherwise, so this is my second servlet, as you can see. So what is the second servlet you are maintaining? What happens here? The second servlet, this is up to now, you know, it's a common things. What is my second servlet? 1 second, as I don't know how many requests I had with me. If I'm having only, I'm getting one cookie as generating in my example program. So the cookie value, subscript value is mentioned clearly as what? 0. And I'm making what? ck is equivalent to request dot cookie, because if I want to know return all the values of my cookies, I need to use my object called request. So request dot get cookies method is called. Then that cookie is going to be that value. I'm not saying the cookie value will be printed with before a message has been added as a hello dot the value of that cookie. What does the value means? Whatever you provided. Either if it is a name you provided, then name will be printed as your output screen. So this is what we generated a code for Java of first servlet, Java your second servlet. So now try to make your clean and build of it and try to make a run. So what you can just find it. So your servlet started and you need to build failed. So see the server log details. So something made it something wrong. Just give me a second. So maybe server I need to restart 1 second. Sir, cookies means we are providing related information related to particular browser. It's our own which is making to side of your browser. X Raukumar, I will show you. Don't worry. I'll just once it has been executed, I can show the things which we store in your browser. There you can your every doubts will be clarified. So it's a problem of some application error. We got it because I made it some modification, but I have not updated my server. So this is a program. So I made it clean and build. 1 second. And I started my run. So my Tomcat server has started. So there is no issues with my server right now because my application server has been started. So I'm trying to open my web address or web area. So OneDrive servlet program. So it has been built. MPL NP module has been deployed. Okay, fine. Just I will open another program. Don't worry. I had one more example of my servlet. So this is your, as per your lab experiments, this is your 4th. So I opened one more servlet state by cookie. So this gives a state information. Okay. But this creates a new information I don't want by session or URL. So we don't have context filtration. It is not there actually. So just better I will make it to run this state only. So don't worry, I will explain that code also. So clean and build of your state. So previous session it has been executed actually, but for you people it has been problem I'm getting. So if I just made it a run, it gives yes. So state of cookie, I'm going to pass some name, username, because I made it the username as my string name and value I need to pass. So what is the value I'm passing here? I'm passing my name of university and I just made it a click. Then it has been welcome Marwadi and which has been redirected to which servlet? Servlet 1. But 1 second I made a code in the servlet 1 to redirect to my servlet 2, right? So I made it 1 second go, then it is going to generate some cookie value. So is that cookie value which you have generated is I told as a unique. Is the same cookie value I had in my browser or not? I need to check. So just how to check here. So just I'll go to 1 second my settings, right? So cookies I can open and just I need to show all my cookies, whatever I had it. Local host, I generated 3 cookies. J session ID, look at my session ID, my content. Last ending, what is the ending? 1C3 is my ending. Is that browser is giving the same thing or not? Is my local host? Yes, it is 1C3, it is been generated. So I am restoring that cookie information in my browser. You can find it. And what is my domain here? Local host, because I try to take from your local host server. And what is the name of it? I made it J session ID. And what is the path of it? Server state by cookie. And it is accessible to script? No, because the reason is it is my protocol of stateless. And when it is created at 9:23 with dated. And when it is going to be expired, when I just close my browser, it automatically goes off. And as a name, 1 second it has been done, same, accessible to script or not, username. So like this previously I have done the things. So it's done at 8:24. I try to execute the program for your previous batch with another example. There also I have generated the cookie with unique address. At that time my cookie is generated with 8:24. And here one more important thing you need to do is either you are generating cookie with your own name, you can do it, but you need to pass with as a string. I told already. But every time there will be a unique ID will be generated for your cookies. So this is about the first session tracking mechanism. So we are left over with more 3 mechanisms like URL rewriting, and one more is HTTP session, and one more is hidden form field. So that we can discuss in my next session. So hope you understood the session, what I have given to you. So now just it's time to post your attendance in the chat box, then you can leave.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Does the C-level of the exam include chapter 4?
I said already yesterday, please try to contact your Tharuni madam, because I don't have any idea about this exam pattern as I'm new to this university and the syllabus and etc. You can just contact for your first meet to madam only.
Okay, sir. Just in case, would you post the chapter 4 PPT?
Yeah, I'll post. I think I already done with 2 and 3. 4 also I will do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're waiting on it. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.